The entire whistleblower complaint is based on hearsay.
This phony whistleblower is giving hearsay evidence.
It's called hearsay.
Hearsay.
Hearsay. Hearsay.
The whistleblower wasn't on the call.
Wasn't a part of the call.
No. Hearsay is what the whistleblower is putting in there because the whistleblower didn't have first. That's what people are saying, first-hand information.
He was second-hand and third-hand. In other words, he didn't know what was on the call.
For the first time, House impeachment investigators are hearing testimony from someone who was actually on the call between President Trump and Ukraine's president.
Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman arriving on Capitol Hill in his full uniform.
He heard the phone call in July, okay?
And this would be the first White House official defying the White House's orders not to cooperate. And he's the top Ukraine expert on the National Security Council.
He's a current
Active duty
member of the U.S. military, some 20 years. He earned a Purple Heart. He was injured in an IED attack. A critical moment, possibly damning for the president.
He is saying in his opening statement that he found the president's actions improper.
I was concerned by the call. I did not think it was proper to demand that a foreign government investigate a U.S. citizen. That's a reference to the Bidens.
And then the grenade verbally. This would all undermine U.S. national security.
He twice reported those concerns to his boss, to lawyers as well.
Not once, but twice.
Twice.
There was another instance after a July 10th meeting between White House officials and a top Ukrainian official,
In which U.S. Ambassador to the European Union, Gordon Sondland, stressed the importance of having
Ukraine investigate Joe Biden and his son Hunter.
Even by Republican standards, this is a whole lot worse than a blue dress.
Vindman's testimony comes as Democrats plan to hold their first House vote
To establish ground rules as the investigation becomes more public.
If the resolution passes, it will formally authorize the impeachment inquiry.
Deciding to do that is a reversal for Nancy Pelosi and the Democratic leadership.
She felt like there was enough of a story here that it was now politically tenable for her to say, yes, we are going to have that floor vote.
Speaker Nancy Pelosi, in a letter to colleagues, writing, Democrats are taking this step to eliminate any doubt about whether the Trump administration must comply with the inquiry.
It's in response to a month of uncooperative behavior from the White House and criticism from Republicans.
Complaining about the process.
Questioning the process all along.
The Democrats are now trying to sort of put a cloak of legitimacy around this process. They can't fix it. The process is broken. It's tainted.
This is a sham. It's not. This is something to simply cover their problems that they've had with this investigation all along.
I applaud the speaker for finally admitting it is a whole entire sham, but you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
I strongly oppose any attempt to legitimize this Soviet-style impeachment process.
Now, even though Republicans got what they wanted,
As you can see, it certainly is not going to satisfy Republicans or shield them from ongoing complaints.
It's clear that Republicans are looking for something to grab hold on when it comes to defending the president, because it looks like the mounting evidence is stacking up against the president.
A major court ruling ahead of next year's election. Judges in the swing state of North Carolina have ruled the state's congressional map must be redrawn before the 2020 primary elections.
The ruling favors a lawsuit that argues Republicans unlawfully manipulated district lines for partisan gain.
This is another big win for opponents of partisan redistricting, which is also called gerrymandering.
Gerrymandering happens when political parties redraw maps to benefit their own party, essentially letting the politician pick the voter instead of the other way around.
Critics point at North Carolina's current congressional delegation, 10 Republicans and 3 Democrats, but North Carolina is a pretty evenly divided purple state.
A kind of textbook case of extreme gerrymandering.
This ruling means the latest maps dating back to 2016 will have to be redrawn and replaced.
The ruling could result in more competitive races.
And that will give more advantage for the Democrats to possibly pick up some of those seats.
And boost Democratic hopes for next year's congressional election.
The State Board of Elections said those lines have to be finalized by December 15th.
Well, Rudy Giuliani going viral this morning. The president's personal lawyer misspelled terrorist Osama bin Laden's name, calling him Ben Laden.
Ben Laden or Bin Laden?
I don't know.
Called him Ben. That's almost like a Jewish name.
That's true.